As long as you have personality and you give people the answers to their questions, they don't really care.
Hey, my name is Nick Berry, and welcome to another episode of Connected Conversations in Insurance. Today, I have the CMO of Heritage, an insurance agency out of Arizona. The CMO is Michael Overstreet. Some of you may know him as the gardening nerd or just also a pretty cool guy. Michael, go ahead and
Thanks.
give yourself a quick intro. Let's talk about how you got into insurance, how you got into the CMO role, and then we'll just kind of go into the marketing stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So this is probably a story told by every insurance agency. I never wanted to be in insurance. No one ever says that growing up. But when I was just starting out, I don't know, I was 22, 23. My dad worked in insurance. He did life insurance. He connected me with an Allstate agent. He was the financial person over a number of different Allstate insurance agencies. So he put me in contact with an agent. I started selling P&C. And honestly, from there, I haven't turned back. I've been in insurance ever since. So almost 20 years I've been in insurance, which is a long time. Kind of don't like insurance anymore. Just kidding. But here I am. I worked for that agent for a while. And then when he retired, I broke off and started my own insurance agency, Safe Street Insurance. That led me up until 3 years ago when I merged with two of my good friends, Jeremy and Caleb, and we created Heritage. That's where I've been ever since. When we made that merger, when I was with Safe Street, I was kind of doing everything, one man shop. Then we merged together and split out expertise. Jeremy and Caleb said, "Hey, we don't like marketing. We don't want to deal with marketing. You're good at video content. You be our CMO." That's how I ended up here in Heritage as a CMO.
That's awesome. It's funny because when people, and as a marketer at a software company, I get exposed to a lot of insurance agencies, and everybody's always asking me, like, Nick, where should I look to learn more about marketing? I'm like, it's not that hard. It's really create content, find a way to distribute it. And then also with insurance, you can, and I say this all the time, you can make a lot of money creating boring insurance content.
Mhm.
Or you can also have a personality and do something else.
Exactly. 100%. It's honestly not that hard. Like people try to make it more complicated. But if you're marketing anything, not just insurance, everybody has questions and they need somebody that they like and can explain it to them in an easy way.
Yep.
And so it's not that hard to stand out and to reach the masses, to be honest.
Yeah. So everybody knows you as an insurance agent, but I also know about your personal project, the gardening nerd.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. And let's talk about, you're the CMO of an insurance agency, but you also have your standalone YouTube channel where you produce content and you created a newsletter, which I applaud. I think everybody should do this.
I agree. I agree. We'll talk about newsletters maybe in a minute. I'll tell you how I'm doing that. But yeah, newsletters I think are where it's at. But yeah, it's something that around the time I started creating a lot of content for my insurance agency, this was when I was with Safe Street Insurance, I kind of saw like, wow, people like content that I make about insurance, and insurance is boring. Um, I actually love to garden and grow things, and I grow different things here in Arizona that very few people grow. And so my idea was, well, why don't I start documenting that and videoing that as well? Because that's a lot more exciting. There's a lot
Mhm.
more people interested in that. And so that's kind of the road I went down. And when I go back and look at some of my first videos, it's insane how awkward and funny and bad quality it is. But you know what? People like it. That's one thing I've
Mhm.
learned about content. As long as you have personality and you give people the answers to their questions, they don't really care. They just want the
Yep.
content and they want personality. So that's kind of where I've gone. And now it's turning into something more than just a YouTube channel and just a newsletter, but we're starting to offer, I'm coming out with the Garden Nerd Club, where it's a community within the Circle app where
Mhm.
you can come and you have access to my Gardening 101 course. You have access to me to give you help. I've negotiated some deals with nurseries to where they give discounts to people that are in the Garden Nerd Club. We're also starting to offer some yard care services. And it's just kind of exploded from the simple YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'm seeing the demands there. And so now it's very easy to venture into these other projects.
Yeah, I love to hear that because it's like I have my day job. I work here for Canby Connect,
Mhm.
but I eat, sleep, and breathe marketing. my poor wife, she has to listen to me run my mouth all the time. People in public, like in Newton, Iowa, people are like, "Hey, I saw your YouTube post or I saw your Instagram post." And I'm
It's
like,
awesome.
"Oh, I don't want to talk about marketing right now. I'm at the pub." But it happens, and it's like you can have personality, you can have a hobby and create content. And now here's the question everybody's going to ask, and I'm sure everybody asks you, what's the crossover of that gardening nerd content to your insurance business?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
there some?
There is some. So it's not just the YouTube channel, the newsletter, and all that, but I also started a Facebook page that's called Perfect Lawns of Arizona,
Hmm.
which is all about growing grass in Arizona. A few years ago, I was searching for a group because I wanted to learn more about growing awesome grass, and there wasn't one. So I was like, oh, I'm just going to start one.
Yeah.
I think now it has 6, 7, 8,000 members. Here's the cool thing about that. I have that captive audience. I own that group.
Hmm.
And if you think about it, anybody that takes time to take care of their lawn, what are they? They're a preferred insurance client,
Yeah.
homeowner,
Yep.
and they have extra time and resources because they're worrying about taking care of their yard.
Yep.
That's a perfect client in the insurance world, right? So now I have that captive audience. I can, retargeting and all of those things. Um, but also, I just have more online visibility. If people come to me and know me as the garden nerd and they start following me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, guess what? They're also going to see, oh, this guy that I like runs an insurance agency
Yep.
and I'm going to reach out to him. And so it just helps me get my name and brand out there to where now people know me as the personality. And then whatever service I'm going to offer them, whether it's insurance or yard care consulting or whatever it may be, they already know, like, and trust me. And that's my marketing right there. So
Yep.
there definitely is a crossover.
Yeah, you just said something that I cannot iterate enough on. There's a theory of, and there's a guy that he made it popular. The no like and trust factor is real. Like we we like to think that we're logical creatures, but we're not. We are
Correct.
absolutely emotionally driven creatures. I like to tell people we are a meat robot that just
You
operates off of emotions.
yep. You figure that out probably more than anybody because you do marketing, you run ads, you see the rationality behind all those things.
Yeah. I have so many, like, I have a screenshot library of the unhinged things people say on my ads,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
awesome.
just, like, it's funny because 'cause I'll just drop them in our Slack account once in a while. I'll be like, "Oh, look at this crazy person.
Yeah, people are
Thanks for the free engagement boost on my
yep,
ads. You just
yep,
reduced my spend."
exactly. They're helping you out
Yeah,
even though they don't know it.
yeah.
But you're right, like, people so it's kind of funny because people see me online, people see me on YouTube, and they're like, "Oh, he's this outgoing, like, extroverted person." I'm not. I don't want to talk to people. And so same thing happens to me. Like, a few weeks ago I was at In and Out and this firefighter came up to me and said, "Hey, are you the garden nerd?" And he like wanted to, he's like, "Dude, this is so cool." And he was like wanting to talk to me. And I'm like, dude, I'm like you. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, man.
Yep,
That's really not my personality, but because people see that come through online, they automatically take a liking to me and they feel like we're best friends when we meet in person, but we've never met before, but they already feel that connection to me. So then once they feel that connection to me, I can sell them anything.
yep. And I tell people, if you have a passion, if you have a like, if I was an insurance agent, what I would be doing, I love cars. I absolutely love cars. I would be documenting my project car. I would
Awesome.
document my project car every week, just talk about what I'm working on, what I ordered, what's going on in the car that week. And then I'd go to like cars and coffees and I just
Mhm.
interview and ask people about their cool cars. It's just like free content you can just put out into the universe. And then on top of it, you can share it on Pinterest, you can share it on YouTube, you can share it all these places and have all of these things where then people will be like, "Oh, this guy's into cars. I have a connection with him. I also like cars." And like
Yep.
if you have a classic car, I there's 3 or 4 really good markets you can put stuff into that aren't the garbage auto leads that insurance agents really don't wanna deal with, but they're the high end, Haggerty, like classic
Yep.
car, you send it, having Haggerty in your back pocket and be like, "Oh, cool, I have a place," and then, yeah, if you have a '73 Camaro,
For
you'd probably
sure.
not live in an apartment. You probably
For
have a
sure.
3 or 4 car garage.
Exactly.
You have multiple cars, you have a big house, probably a business because it's expensive.
Yep. Yep, you're right. So, it if we can talk about this for a minute, what you brought up, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Like now with AI, ChatGPT, Google, all that, there's so much information. Like all the information is out there anymore. It's not valuable to just have information anymore. But what people want and what I find is valuable is somebody who is obsessed with a certain thing, with a certain hobby, whether it's gardening, whether it's cars, whatever it is. That's what people are drawn to. That's what people want to see when they're scrolling through their social media. Like, look at this crazy guy that talks just about marketing. Look at this crazy guy that talks just about gardening. Like, this is really cool. I love his passion. And that passion comes through, in video or even just on typing
Mhm.
posts on social media. That passion comes through, and that's what people are drawn to. So I feel like, yeah, if you're an insurance agent or if you're doing anything in marketing, you should hone in on what your hobby is and take it to the next level.
Yep.
And it's as simple as just documenting it. And that's what's going to get people to know you. Nobody's going to know you if you're just a simple person that only talks about what's comprehensive coverage. Like nobody cares about that.
Yep.
Nobody's going to come back to your social media page if that's all you talk about.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a balance. There's a balance you have to strike, especially once you start, like, you have an email list. Okay, cool. Let's have a balance of, and if again, this is what I would do if I was an insurance agent and I was talking about cars and I was creating content about cars. I'd make a mailing list and then I'd put my insurance agency as a sponsored post, a
Yeah.
sponsored of my newsletter.
Yep. That,
Like, don't make it super intrusive, but, like, hey, it's like the top line of your newsletter. Like, "Hey, go check out our insurance agency." Boring insurance content still converts.
oh, for sure.
Like, they wanna know that you not only know a lot about cars or gardening or
Right.
motorcycles or whatever, but you also know, like, you're an expert in this other thing that you do.
100%. Yeah. And on that note, just so people think that I'm not dogging on that, for a while, I was posting 2 videos a week on my Facebook page, insurance videos. What is comprehensive insurance? Like I just made
Mhm,
fun of, right? But what that did, I would have people reach out to me that I know never watched more than 2 seconds of my insurance video. But
mhm.
because they saw me posting, they knew I was the expert and they trusted me and they had no problem coming to me with their complex problem.
Yep.
So it converts.
I know of an agency that does a weekly email. 18-25% open rate. They get, 3% click-through rate. But every week when they send that email out, the agency owner tells me, he goes, "Every time we send that email out, I write new business." So having something to distribute also ties into, like, I think it's, as long as the content's high quality and it's
Mhm.
relevant and it's not over salesy, people are gonna fall all over themselves to try and do business with you.
Right. And yeah, that's the main thing is it's how I did the insurance and it's how I've done the Garden Nerd, built my newsletter subscribers up to, I think I'm almost up to 1,000. The sales come, the people come to you when they need you. If you
Yep.
can just simply give them the information in a very simplified way, you're right, they'll fall all over to come to you. It doesn't have to be complicated. And that's anytime I go on podcasts or talk to people about video marketing in any capacity, that's my number one thing. It doesn't have to be complicated. Like I said in the beginning, get out your cell phone, shoot a video, show your passion. People are going to come to you.
And, there's this YouTuber that I follow. The man has never spoken a word, ever, on his YouTube channel.
Is it
So
the
I go grab
guy
it.
that like shows something and then he like points to it like that?
No, it's primitive technology.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
so he literally, let me go back to that tab. 10.9 million subscribers.
Oh my gosh.
His average videos, yeah, Channelytics, last 30 days, 3.2 million views. And it's
And he's
just
never said a
him
word?
going and building, like, prehistoric like, Stone Age stuff in Australia. The man has never said a word. And according
That is
to the
cool.
best calculations I can find, every time he makes a video, he makes approximately $130,000
Oh my gosh.
in ad revenue.
With not saying anything. That's the
Never
dream
said a
job right
word.
there, man.
And, like, he's shown his gear setup. He started out with a smartphone, And then progressively, as he got he gave himself I read, he has a book, talks about it.
Uh-huh.
And every time he basically hit a milestone, he would add new equipment.
Oh, that's cool. That's
He'd get
cool.
himself a cool new camera, a new, or like a mic for the ASMR stuff, for the actual sound stuff. And I'm like, that's my golden totem of
Yeah,
what to do for a YouTube channel. I know
sure.
insurance agents were there, they have a selfie stick attached to their desk, and they just
Uh-huh.
talk about what's going on in their agency that month.
Yeah. Yeah. That's and I mean, that creates affinity, that creates emotion. They feel like they're emotionally attached to that person just because they see their face. I experiment a lot with social media posts and the interaction I get with it, right? Like how many people comment and how many people see it, all that stuff. I look at that data. And one thing that is very clear, the posts where I show my face, no matter how cool the picture is without my face, but if I show my face, at least double the interaction. Probably
Yep.
a lot more than that if I look at them, but people just want to see a person behind
Mhm.
the brand. So
Well,
just show your face.
I just had a conversation with one of my salespeople this afternoon about some ad creative we want to do for a specific market. And I said, I need you to go outside. She's in, I think she's in LA right now. I'm like, you're
Mhm.
in a really cool, nice place. It's not like it's Iowa in February where it's brown and gross and we're about to
Right?
get a snowstorm. But stand outside and just record a selfie video. That selfie video will outperform any creative I make in,
Yep.
in Illustrator or Canva or wherever we make our stuff,
Yep.
because a in the social media feed, people don't want to see ads. They don't want to see an ad on Instagram. They don't want to see an ad on Facebook. They don't want to see an ad on LinkedIn. They want to see people that they interact with.
Yep.
So it's something I've been doing for years, of these selfie style, super simple, no graphics, no logos till the end. Those videos just outperform everything else we ever do.
All day long. Because people aren't dumb. They get served ads all day long, right? I
Yep.
don't know what the number is, but I know it's an insane amount of how many ads you see all day long. Even the dumbest person scrolling social media knows what an ad is and what an ad isn't, right?
Mhm.
And so if you come, it doesn't matter how cool your graphic is. It doesn't matter how cool the
Mhm.
picture is. If they know it's an ad or they get that sense, they're out. They're not going to
Yep.
stop. They're interested all day
Yep.
long.
We
So
did an
100%.
experiment last month with an ad, with some ad creative, which promoting some content we wrote. And we typically will use branded images and branded creative. It was an article about myths about the product. I said, what if we made some like Dungeons and Dragons style creative? It outperformed. So the funny thing is, Facebook delivered their company style creative to more people than the Dungeons and Dragons style images,
Huh?
but it underperformed by 60%. The other one had higher
Wow.
clicks, higher click through rate,
Wow. There you
and that
go.
was a straight up real A/B test. Same
That's
audience,
pretty cool.
same build, everything, and it outperformed because, and that was my theory. Like, hey, we like, it's okay. Like like we run so much, we run ads.
Mhm.
It's okay to run like creative that is branded most of the time.
Got to break it up. I'm just thinking about Canopy Connect. I scroll social media. I see the Canopy Connect logo. I know I use Canopy Connect. I know what they are. Even if I didn't use them, I know what they are. I'm not going to stop and look at this ad.
Yep,
But if I was scrolling and I saw a picture of you or somebody like doing something funny,
yep,
whatever, I would stop and say, "Oh, what's this all about?" Right?
yep,
But with that, just the logo,
yep.
I'm scrolling.
Even our standard images, we don't like. I avoid you putting our logo on it. It's usually, we have a very specific style we're using right now, but I'm like, that's why, because it's, yeah, I don't want uh, a we run, and it's funny, the ads we run are specific to insurance agents, so they're
Mhm.
actually images of risks that insurance agents think about.
That's cool.
My audience, these are insurance agents. They're worried about workplace risks. They're worried about houses burning down. They're worried about fire, auto accidents, and everything. So that's
Yep.
how we style our creative.
Yep. That's what you gotta do. I get it, man. Like, you're an insurance agency owner or any type of business owner. You're proud of your company. You're proud of your brand. You wanna put that logo right there front and center because you took so much time developing it and making it, and you think it looks really cool. But the sad reality is no one else cares. No one
No,
else cares except you.
well, it's like names. I get this all the time with agents. They'll ask me for marketing advice. They'd be like, "Hey, what should I name my agency?" I'm like, "Nobody really cares."
No. No.
They don't care if it's got your name on it. They don't care if it's a city name. They don't care if it's some weird corporate name.
Nope.
Nobody cares about the name, right?
No. I mean, talk to anybody that lives their insurance agent. You're like, "Hey, what company you're with?" "I don't know. I just call Michael all the time and he takes care of me." That's what they
Yep.
care about.
Yep.
They have no idea what your logo is or your brand is. They don't care. They just care about you and your personality and how you treat them, really, how you make them feel, whether it's in person or in video.
Well, Michael, I really appreciate you taking the time to just talk about marketing and talk about how you've done things. If anybody wants to learn more about the gardening nerd or your agency, what's the best place for them to find you?
Yeah, I would say my biggest presence is on Facebook, just Michael Overstreet. You can find me there and you'll see me posting about insurance and garden nerd and all that stuff. I am on Instagram as well. I'm starting to build that presence a little bit more. So I'm the garden nerd on Instagram, but it's the underscore garden underscore nerd.
Okay.
So
Awesome. Well, we'll link to everything. And like I said, I appreciate you joining the call.
beautiful.